Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the B Team Podcast. As always, they are live on the Jackrabbit Illustrated Facebook and Twitter. We are also live on the FCS Fans Nation YouTube for the fans, by the fans. Beyond that, you can catch the show if you don't catch it live anywhere you get your favorite podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere in between. As always, the B Team is brought to you by our title sponsor, Kubota Dealers of South Dakota. If you need a tractor, utility vehicle, construction equipment, zero-turn motors, parts, service, and more, there's always a Kubota dealer near you with 8 locations across the great state of South Dakota. Stop in today and get yourself into some orange equipment. We would also like to take a moment to thank our segment sponsors, Culver's, Brookings and Watertown, Jackrabbit Central, and Cubby's Sports Bar and Grill. And now, B-Team Mafia, the time's arrived. Here's Ben, Chad, and Brendan.
Ladies and gentlemen, B-Team Mafia, what is up? And much to your rejoicing, we actually are late this time. So I'm glad that your part-time jobs as alarm clocks has finally paid off. So thank heavens for that. But shout out to our title sponsor, Kubota Dealers of South Dakota, 7 locations across the state. You know, it has been a low snow winter, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. And guess what? We know the way the world today, prices never go down. They just keep getting up. So save yourself some money, get some now, be prepared for when it does snow, or be prepared for the next winter that is nasty snow. Get down to a Kubota Dealer of South Dakota near you with 7 locations. They're all over the place. New location in Yankton, family owned and operated. They've also got attachments, parts, and service. So hop on down to your closest Kubota Dealer of South Dakota. So, but beyond that, we are live. We are late. We are happy.
Read that off of a script?
No, that was right off the back of my head. I thought it was pretty good, though.
That was really good. You're on point tonight. Yeah. You do have to turn those lights off, though.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you do.
Nobody had a problem with it on the Mega Live.
Wow, that's not entirely true. It came up after the show.
What? It did not.
Yeah, yes, it did. Rev,
I don't remember that.
Please.
I had a healthy amount of whiskeys that show, so that was...
Yeah, you were doing okay.
Wick.
Konnichiwa, Rev. Konnichiwa.
Wick, hey.
Konnichiwa.
Anyway.
I'm trying.
I like how you subtly worked in the Konnichiwa, Rev. I like it. It's pretty.
Well, I had to answer him. Yeah, I was listening when you guys were giving me shit about...
Alex agrees with me.
That whole deal.
Mayhem's got a good point. What don't you complain about in my basement? Is there anything that you don't have a problem with in my basement? Like, is there one thing that is enjoyable?
The Podfather picture obviously is awesome.
I don't love how low the ceiling is.
Okay, so we're gonna go through the list. Let's go.
No, we don't need to do that right now.
Coward.
Well, it smells sometimes.
It's fair.
All right, I'm done. Let's move on.
It's fair.
So, agreed, Steve. Mark effing Gronowski.
I put it up at the same time as you. Sorry.
That's all right. Yeah. So coming off the big win, 59-0. Who saw that coming? I don't think anybody, honestly. I mean, and I feel like, you know, we were a little hesitant to be too overconfident going in. And I feel like we thought that Albany would really give us a fight. I think the general consensus was that, you know, they'll give us a fight till halftime and then we'll kind of pull away second half. But man, did they look shell-shocked from the get-go. They just couldn't get it going.
One of us was fairly confident in that game.
Yeah.
That was Ben.
Yep.
We thought you were going to jinx us.
Yeah, with the JIAI stuff,
I was confident we were going to win. I wasn't confident we were going to do that.
For you, that was fortunate. Mostly your tires, because I was gonna do some terrible things to your truck shoes. But
I feel like after doing that and then winning 59-0, now I just have free reign.
No,
yeah,
no, we don't need to end up on Montana's highlight video or any silly shit like that.
Because
Well,
they'll
speaking of
find
which,
us.
I gotta
They
post
will find it. They've already found us, so that's
You
fine.
see, we got. You see the line, right, Ben?
Yeah, I was. Did
Well-
you see what my line was?
No, I saw the 12 in the hook. I guess for the 5. Everybody's kind of that's what they're coming out at. I thought it'd be higher than that, honestly.
I've seen everywhere from 12.5 to 14.5, depending where you're at.
And in the thread, I said 13. So,
Yep.
congratulations, me.
But I think on the game that we on the Albany game, the Hogs, that was their Mona Lisa game because they did such a good job at neutralizing what is a good defensive line. To be fair, because we know how this goes when you have to travel like they had to travel. I'm sure that did not help them. That was brutal. The fact that they even went back to Albany is kind of silly, but it's an NCAA thing. So what are you going to do? I don't think that helped, but yeah, that was just as soon as we marched down, second touchdown happened. Borga's walking by on the sidelines going, and I'm like, yeah, that was the end of that. But that was such a fun game to be at. That was so fun. If you weren't there, man, I'm telling you, there's a 0% chance whatever bar you were at. If you all right, because we got to preface this so nobody gets all poopy in their panties. If you didn't have kids' activities or sick parents or deaths in the family or whatever,
Work,
the common sense things, and if you were someone who was just sitting in a bar, there is no way on God's green earth that it was nearly as fun as being in that stadium. There's
God, no.
chance.
It was electric.
It was so much fun, and it was so cool how everybody was in it from the start to the finish. Like you would have
never stopped.
If you didn't know what the score was, you would have thought it was like a 1-score game, or we were even down because everybody was just engaged the whole game. I mean, there was just that excitement in the air of like, man, we're just dominating. And then it kind of became like, well, now we want to get the shutout. And so everybody's kind of cheering for that. And
that's right. In the fourth quarter, that place was coming unglued to,
seriously.
It was as out in the fourth quarter and as energetic in the fourth quarter as it started. I'm short of the Tucker large punt return. It had that level of energy the entire time. I left on a high. It was fantastic. My dad's like, this is the most fun I've ever had at a game. I'm coming to Frisco. So now I got to get a ticket.
Yeah.
Try and get a ticket for him. I told him today, hey man, if you really want to save money, you got to trust me. Don't buy a ticket till day of.
Yes.
And he's like, I don't know about that. And I'm like, you can do whatever you want, but I'm telling you, if you show up and buy a ticket day of, you're going to save some money.
Yeah. And that's a good point for any SDSU fans while we're on that topic.
Mm-hmm.
Any SDSU fans who want to go, can't find a ticket, go anyways. I put this on the ticket exchange page, who was doing a great job of stopping Montana fans from getting on there. But show up anyways. Don't buy a ticket right now. First off, if you don't have a ticket, can't find a ticket, wait till the allotment's released, and you're not going to get a ticket on the allotment probably either, let's be honest, unless you've got a lot better priority points than we do.
Some of the allotment has been released tonight.
Has it? Some people got their emails. Did Ben get an email?
Some people did.
Look at that shit grin on his face. He did. You little bastard, you. Wow. Ben's doing okay for himself. Look at this guy.
Please.
You high enough up to get those.
It's not my account. But anyway, I do know that we got our tickets. Somebody else mentioned they got tickets.
Theirs. Yep.
So I don't know that the whole allocation's been done, but I know that some of them have been done. Awesome. Chris is saying he got his. So
if anybody has 2, I'm looking for 2. Not for me, but for some other people. So
do
contact me.
Yeah, join the party, Chad.
Yeah.
Number one, I would like to say Ariel is correct. It would have been another boring blowout from a bar. The atmosphere changes everything. 100%. I had somebody say They tuned in for a little bit and they saw that it was a blowout, so they just changed the channel or whatever. And it's like, if you were at that game, it did not matter that it was a blowout. It was a blast the whole time. And
nobody left.
Nobody left early. That was crazy, actually. Everybody was waiting for the fiddle song, which was cool because like you could just feel like the anticipation of it, and then once it finally played, that's a experience that everybody should be a part of at least once in their life because it's such a cool tradition. But I do want to tag on to the going to Frisco without tickets. Yes, it is an option because there's Friday night's fun, all Saturdays fun. As I talked about last night, if you like our podcast, we're going to do a live thing at the local. That'll be fun. And I don't think we've announced this yet. Sorry, I was reading the comments.
Yeah. Rack was watching at a gentleman's club.
Classic ROT, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we haven't announced this yet, but we will have a video board at the tailgate, which I think Matt might have mentioned for our sponsors. We'll roll our sponsors through. But what he didn't mention is that we're very likely, I think, I don't know for sure yet, but we're working on showing the game on the video board during the game, like showing the broadcast of the game on the video board. So what I'm saying is if you can't get a ticket, you may be able to hang out at our tailgate after people go into the game. I will say that our bar will likely be out of beer by that point anyway, but they're not going to stay open during the game. And we're looking at a sound option. We may have our DJ stay a little longer and have him play the sound of the game. So just going to put that out there that could be an option. If you don't have a ticket, come down there anyway. And you might be able to get a ticket to the day of the game. If you don't, you may be able to hang out at our tailgate and watch it on the video board anyway. So,
which will be infinitely cooler than anything you do around here.
100%.
It just will be. It just will be. Like, that's sick. So, not to re-change gears here or anything, because I'm sure we'll be talking this stuff the next couple weeks here leading up to Frisco. The buzz in that stadium at the kickoff was so loud, like just the buzz was so loud that I was like, I know everybody's being quiet, but the excitement and people just talking to each other was borderline noise when we were on offense. It was like, goddamn. And let me tell you, folks, and I know we're probably preaching to the choir here, because if you listen to us, all the things we're saying, whatever, you guys already know.
Yeah.
All these things we're saying, you already do the things we say. But in the event you're someone new listening because it's championship week and you're like, holy shit, there's a Jackrabbit show. When you bring somebody extra to the game, like bring people you never would have thought. My wife's Ariel started inviting neighbors and stuff who I was like, there's no way. I mean, they're not SDSU people or anything at all. And I can tell you the one set is sponsoring the tailgate, and they're looking at getting tickets to come down to Frisco. The other tickets have pretty much fully converted to SDSU fans, and because they had so much fun at the games, so much fun at the tailgates. Within 6 games, like it was that fast. It was all of a sudden it went from, oh, I guess we'll come to, oh, you guys gonna have tickets next week? Let me know if you have tickets next week. To hey, can I get 7 tickets for the semifinal game? It's like, hell yeah. And so I'm just telling you, ask people you never would have thought of. I've talked to people at work where I work who are like, oh yeah, I'll get some tickets. The game when? Okay, yeah, I'll work with my husband. We'll go. So that's been probably really cool for me to witness during that, off of the excitement of everything. But as far as the game itself, perfection, no notes on that one, right? I mean,
yeah, not a whole lot to say.
Blocked pick.
I guess, yeah. When they interviewed,
go ahead.
When they interviewed Jimmy, he was like, I guess he's like, oh yeah, we had a blocked kick, and it's like, yeah, it's such a good performance. It makes me nervous for the championship game, honestly, because how do you follow that up a lot of times, and obviously you lean into this being a veteran team who's got one goal, and that's what they're focused on, and that's what made them so good in this game. That was their last chance at home with this group, these seniors, and I think that's what made them so potent. And you're leaning on that as a Jacks fan going into Frisco. But generally speaking, when a team has a game like that, the next game is a little bit not like that. It's a little bit of a God. I don't want Mark to show up and take my knees out or anything, because I know how sick they are of hearing stuff like this. And this isn't a narrative about the team, but teams tend to show up and be a little flat after a deal like this. And now you're going into an opponent who's got 3 weeks to prepare. I'm not saying I'm super concerned about it or anything. I'm just saying it's a thing. It's not a thing that doesn't exist.
Yeah, no, I would be more worried if that was our semifinal game, if that was a quarterfinal game, we had that big of a blowout, and then going into the semifinal game, especially against a team that you think you're going to beat, and kind of looking ahead to the championship a little bit. But being, it's Montana, the 2 seed, it's the championship, it's what they came back for. I'm not concerned about that with this team in particular. I think they'll be focused as ever. I think our coaches will be prepared as ever. I think that we will not kick to their returner ever. So I'm not worried about it. But
yeah, that's fair. Yeah, all those things are very fair, and what I would guess, for sure.
Yeah.
But man, it was such a good game. Like, how do you improve? And I hate us having that mantra about ourselves, but goddamn, I mean, the Hogs were incredible. Jaden Yonke, I said this during the recap show with Borg, he turned into prime Randy Moss for a half, where those catches he made, I mean, he was getting interfered with on both of them. Dude's tackling him, and he's catching it anyways for bombs down the field. Mark was great. Although he did underthrow a couple deep throws, but the play was still made, and then, even you get the backups in there. Chase Mason hits Griffin Wilde. I mean, if that's not a good sign for the future, I don't know what is, for that long touchdown. You see Montana. I've seen a couple Montana fans and comments running up the score. It's the playoffs. I don't give a shit. Big boy up, baby. And guess what? And someone's made the valid point. This is Jimmy Rogers. He played in Montana in 2009. If you think he's letting off the gas until there's zeros on the board in the playoffs, you are out of your mind. I mean, out of your noodle. I did find it interesting listening to some of the post-game interviews and things like that, where they said, so did the seniors, they asked the seniors, did you guys ask to be in for that final drive? And their answer was kind of we wanted to go out on a touchdown. We wanted our last drive in the Dana to be a touchdown. And I mean, it was. I mean, how perfect was it? Zach Hines was phenomenal.
Oh my gosh.
He made some awesome catches.
He got the GATA player of the game. So
yeah, he should.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell that game meant a lot to those guys that came back, and that they were really soaking in that final game at the Dana, and it was cool to see. I mean, it was what a way to go out, at the Dana, with that being your lasting memory of that stadium. Winning 59-0, hearing the fiddle song, seeing the fans. I mean, what more could you ask for?
I know Sam Herder said that when they played If You Want to Play in Texas, the press box was shaking.
Yeah.
And before some NDSU, yes, Kevin, Randy Moss again. For one half, he was. I don't care what you say. I don't care. Back in my day, Randy Moss actually played in the FCS, and it was awesome. I just love giving Kevin shit. No, but And before NDSU fans jump, oh, copycat and what we do. Okay, yeah, your hand signal's so original that you got it from Texas, and you shout down the national anthem because UND did it first. So cry me a river. You guys started something great, and I will absolutely give you your flowers for that. It is a phenomenal tradition you started, and it just hurts more when we do it, and I get that, but like.
It's been co-opted by the whole FCS, so congratulations. You started it.
Yeah. I used to do rock on all the time, and I can't anymore. Now I got to do hang loose because you guys took horns up. So yes, I get to dance to if you want to go play in Texas when we go to Frisco.
You know how many times I do that accidentally, and I'm like, no.
I know.
You've got to do do the up and over when you go
like they had to take the most common hand sign on the planet and then be like, oh, we're doing it. Look, the Rolling Stones are doing it. No, they're not. They're not.
No, they're not.
Coyotes do this, that's
which is
so much more original.
No, that one's so much. It's so much sadder. That is what you do with a child. Like, rawr, rawr, rawr. It's a puppy. Rawr, rawr. Like,
it's pretty terrible.
I don't love the ears either. There's a reason we do the horns down more. But
they're just not.
Yeah, I don't like. We should just do ears up, like V's up. Screw it. Just ears up. That's my opinion. If Christ. I'm sorry.
And pretend the SoCon is relevant. We get to pretend Jake was Randy Moss.
Love it.
If there's one thing we could have improved on that game, I feel like, and I don't want to complain too much because it didn't affect the outcome at all. That crew was not the best crew we got in the playoffs. They could have done a little better. The reffing crew. I'm not complaining about them. That's not what it is. There was just some things, and it went both ways, so it's not a complaint. Just that was a crew that I did not think had their best game either.
Here's the theme. Here's my thing. First off, we probably shouldn't bring up refs at all. And when you win 59-0,
but I do.
They're not even like a. But when it comes down to it, if you watch the and yes, we know, I know, Rev, Oklahoma started that. We never tried to claim we were original about it. We just do it because it burns their ass. But reffing overall throughout the playoffs, there has been a theme. They are letting them play.
Let them play. Yep.
Big time. At the month, all these playoff games, there's not been a ton of flags. And I think that's great. That's awesome. That's how it should be in the playoffs. Let it ride. Let them play. And also, again, I brought this up in the first round against Mercer. I'll bring it up again. You can tell the Valley refs had something they were looking for when they played when SDSU played, because all of a sudden now we're not getting dinged for these ticky-tack calls all of a sudden that we're like, well, yeah, it is, but do you really call that on anybody else? So I think that's interesting to know. But beyond that, I don't know. I mean, we won by a lot. That's fine.
I think there was a couple though. The crowd definitely did not like,
Oh yeah.
That holding that didn't happen. The hit of Mark out of bounds. Yeah, the face mask.
I will say
it is what it is.
On the rewatch, that hit on Mark out of bounds, they were right to pick it up.
I think they were too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think watching the replay in the stadium, I was like, yeah, I can see that.
He definitely hit him. I think the problem is we're just so used to what you're talking about, Brendan, with the Missouri Valley refs, that they probably would have called that. And for that matter, they would have reviewed it for targeting for some reason.
What was weird about that? Did you notice that the Albany player hit him with his face? Not his head, his face is what clipped him, which I haven't seen happen very often. Who hits with their face? It sounds like the old bar fight line. You better watch out, or I'm going to hit your fist with my face.
Or in this case, your arm. Yeah.
Right. That was weird.
Speaking of bars,
overall, I mean, the tailgate was phenomenal, by the way. We got to have Sam Herder stop by. Jace was phenomenal. You guys ended up on, or at least Chad ended up on TV a bunch. our little superstar down there on the bottom with his big hat. It's a big hat. It's bigger than other hats.
It's funny because it's like a normal
Jace's
hat, only
Chislick made it on there with dirty fryer oil.
No, that was cheese balls. The Chislick didn't make
cheese
it,
balls.
actually.
That's right. The Chislick was already gone. We went through 20 pounds of Chislick.
I was going to say, can you blame it for being dirty? He was frying the whole time.
Yeah, he never stopped.
He was
I went through like 8 pounds of pork loin, 8 to 10 pounds of pork loin. I think if you include the stuffing I put in, it was probably 10 pounds. And 2 blocks of cream cheese, gobs of other food that everybody else brought. I mean, it was nuts.
Your pork was good, but it was not suited for a bare hand.
No, I was cutting it up and I was like, oh yeah, that's why I haven't made this for tailgating, because this is going to be a shit show for people at tailgating. Yeah. And then I just walk around because it got done late, handing it to people like, just do it, just man up.
Just like dripping in cheese. You're like, I guess I'll eat this.
I didn't get any of it. I was kind of sad.
It went really quick, and we were like literally starting to tear down. So I was just walking around, panic, giving it out like eat. And I really honestly thought I was going to have half a pork loin left, and it just disappeared. So it worked out.
It was kind of crazy. Everything Jace, like usually we end up with food to take home. Everything that Jace made was gone. So I don't know.
Dude, all the fries.
People were hungry.
He had like 10 pounds of fries. My dad brought 2
onion rings,
cheese balls. He had onion rings, fried mushrooms. He did that because he's like, what else would we want? I'm like, fried mushrooms, kind of as a joke. So I can't find any. And then he found them and showed up with like a 5-pound bag of fried mushrooms, and they just flew out. I mean, yeah, it was awesome. And how gorgeous of a day was it?
Oh my God.
Middle of December.
Oh my God.
We had your I think Brendan, your heater ran out of propane.
Yeah.
And so we just had the 2 little ones going, and it still was so warm inside that everybody was like, screw it. So like the tailgate wasn't even in the tents, like,
which was good because there was so many people.
There was a ton of people, yes.
But speaking of food, you know how much food Jace made? Oh, go ahead, Ben.
I was just gonna let Kevin know Chislick is cubed meat fried, and you put garlic salt on it, and it's delicious.
So because Chislick is kind of a funny name, especially for a South Dakota food, my coworker in North Dakota calls it South Dakota shawarma, which doesn't make any sense, but it's funny to me.
I mean, I can kind of see where he's coming from, but like, yeah, that's funny.
But you know how much food Jace made? He almost made as much food as Cubby's usually makes, which this tomfoolery is made out of. Is sponsored by Cubby Sports Bar and Grill in downtown Brookings, South Dakota. Currently, they have the J.I. Italian, just kidding, the Italian nachos there. They did a fundraiser on Sunday. Hopefully, you were able to make it. If not, if you're like me and you had a sick spouse, hopefully you didn't go, because if half the team gets sick because somebody was silly and had to go, like, we will find you. In all seriousness, it was awesome. They did 5% of sales going to Alex's lemonade stand. I know Matt was talking to Gus, and they've sold tons and tons and tons of the Italian nachos. So thank you to all of you who have been going out, supporting them, just like you support all our other sponsors. You, BT Mafia, you guys are rock stars. You have no idea how much that means to us, means to them, shows that we're worthwhile. So we appreciate that. Obviously, they also have their awesome Chislick. You can burgle some curds there. They've got a whole wide variety of tap beers, canned beers, bottle beers, and any liquor your heart desires there as well. So stop on down to Cubby's in downtown Brookings. Keep getting the Italian nachos. That goes till the end of the month, and then they will donate it to Alex's lemonade stand. You guys have been rock stars on Alex's lemonade stand. While we're talking about it, we are planning on doing something down in Frisco, possibly at our live show with Kevin and Stone for that, to do kind of a last rally here. Right now, Mark and Quentin are in 4th and 5th place. They are trailing 3rd place by $300, less than $300, but $300 will put them up over Aiden Bauman, which is what God intends, I think. So, and once we get the donations from Cubbies, that'll be a huge deal as well. But yeah, get down to Cubby Sports Bar and Grill. And you guys keep killing it on the Alex's lemonade stand. It has been incredible. it's incredibly humbling for us to see the amount of outpouring support that you and generosity that Jackrabbit Nation has had. You guys keep doing this, and it's just a wonderful thing. I actually want to share. I should have asked if I can share this, so I won't say her name, but I had someone who is a pediatric doctor at the University of Minnesota reach out and tell me how awesome it is that we are doing this with Alex's Lemonade Stand. She will take rounds for people that are on vacation in the oncology ward of the pediatrics, and they get a bunch of grants from Alex's Lemonade Stand. So this is a really good thing that is doing real things in our area to help fight childhood cancer. So thank you so much. Josh Baker does make a good point. Cubby's Frisco shirts are also there too. And I don't know if they meant to do this, but they say scared money don't make money on them, which is sick. So I will be getting one because I think we're legally obligated to get a couple of them for the Scared Money Don't Make Money show. They look really goddamn cool. I don't think they're going to last long, so get there while you can. I don't think you can order them online. You have to show up, so you got to know a guy who knows a guy. I know a guy, so hopefully I can have him pick some up. Thomas, that'd be cool.
Or Alex.
They definitely didn't put that on there because it's the name of our show, but
right.
We're going to
claim
that
happened it. There.
We're definitely going to claim it.
Right. It's a happy accident. That's not, that's a cloud now. That bird's a cloud now.
He didn't say scared money don't make money there. He said it on a post game, didn't he?
I thought he said it on
his
podcast.
Oh, no, he said it in a post game on the field. It was right. Tyler asked him.
Tyler's after game. Yep.
Scared money don't make money. So Alex's Lemonade Stand, we're still rocking that. Obviously, you can see the standings. Chad's brought them up. Kevin, I will work on picking you up a 2XL, my guy. We'll get that sorted out for you. And before everybody else starts jumping in for picking up these things, Kevin's in Montana, and we do stuff with this show. So we can't do it for all of you. We just can't. So we're gonna put a blanket no on the rest of you, not because we dislike any of you. We genuinely appreciate everybody who's listening. I don't have that fundage. Now Ben might, because obviously he's high enough on the ticket scale and the point scale to get tickets to Frisco. However, anybody else,
he's got that power engineer money.
Like us peons in the cheap seats, me and Chad over here in the Thunderdome, we're a little awesome. We don't have that fundage.
It's what it is now. Thunderdome.
I was thinking.
By the way, I heard first. I love it. It just happened. By the way, I heard from several people that we were way louder for whatever reason this last game.
There was more of us because I bought.
There was more of us.
I bought 4 extra hard hats that I brought and distributed amongst the people.
Well, plus you had my other blue one, right? I think still.
Yeah, maybe it as well.
Whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
So we had an extra one there too. So yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Alex is mad at you, Brendan.
Alex is mad at me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he's like, what is it? He needs to go walk off a bridge, I guess.
Because I didn't mention you to pick. Oh, sorry for not putting that on you. I can. Everybody just DM Alex Kenkel. Our guy Alex, and he'll pick him up for you. I think he just volunteered for everybody else to go sit to pick up t-shirts for everybody.
Oh, Dustin Helton, go screw.
Jesse, you will take an L.
What did he say? Oh, yeah. Dustin, I know where you're sleeping in Frisco. So that's all I'm saying. Yeah, I'll fight you. No, so we want to talk about the other semifinal game that happened, because that was wild. We made it. We talked half the show, so that's good.
Yeah, that was a crazy game. It was fun to watch.
Yes.
I thought NDSU was going to win that game for the majority of the second half. Honestly, it seemed like NDSU was going to win until they stupidly kicked to Bergen, and then he ran it back. And then even then, I thought, well, NDSU is still moving the ball really well. Montana just, their offense isn't doing a whole lot. And even in overtime, I was I thought for sure that NDSU would be able to go score 2-point conversion fairly easily with the way they're moving the ball. And then they run this gadget play instead of running the ball after they've been running it down their throat all night. Well, not all night, but most of the second half. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't know a whole lot more to say about that game, though. Do you?
Oh, yeah, I got gobs to say about that.
Nice. Say
Sure
it.
do. DMez, since we're doing another game recap and we have another sponsor, yes, you can buy SDSU gear online. You can get it at Jackrabbit Central, jackrabbitcentral.com. They also have a location in downtown Brookings and the bookstore on campus as well as in the stadium, even though that is now shut down because of the playoffs. They've got all sorts of gear, hats. I think half the stuff, they've got so much stuff they can't even get it all on the website in time. So go to Jackrabbit Central. It's the last touchdown Tuesday tomorrow. So if you want to take advantage and grab a bunch of national championship gear, do it on Tuesday.
Right, meow.
Get your 25% off. It's the biggest discount they give for a touchdown Tuesday. So get your 25% off on Tuesday. Last minute Christmas gifts. What's that?
Are they
It's on top of these
have
specials.
I was gonna say they have all these national championship stuff from last year on sale.
Mm-hmm.
If they have that sale plus the touchdown Tuesday,
Ooh-wee.
oh boy!
Yeah, I think I
might
need one
be
of these then.
Yeah,
One of
I'll
these
be getting one of those.
LED
I'll be
lights at
doing
another 25% off might be a deal.
It'll look good right over my shoulder-ish there. Might have to take the
But
place of the
can you
pot
make
powder
it
after it
disco?
goes into the scholarship auction. Oh, if I try hard enough. Get down to Jackrabbit Central. Obviously, you could see they have gobs and gobs of things, from LED lights to cups to golf tees to panoramic pictures from Frisco, panoramic pictures of the Dana. You name it, they got it. Banners like the one that Ben formerly had behind him before he put his jerseys back up. All sorts of awesome man cave decorations, coffee cups, the works. Go down to Jackrabbit Central. Like we said, tomorrow's Touchdown Tuesday. So get on that. It will be the last one of the season, and it just so happens to work out to be the largest discount of the season. Get your Christmas shopping done, folks. But on the semifinal game between Montana and NDSU, I watched, it was a great game. It was a lot of fun to watch. I know I was watching and I was chattering back and forth with Taco King, Brian Thompson. We were DMing back and forth, talking about judgments of the game and things like that. NDSU drove right down, stalled in the red zone, kicked a field goal. And then Montana stalls right away, like they didn't get anywhere. Punts back to him. Montana starts moving the ball easy. And I told him, you guys score here, it's over. Like, we've seen this song and dance before from NDSU. If they got up 2 scores there, you'll never convince me later that game would not have been over if NDSU scores a touchdown there. I don't see you can't tell me that Montana offense was digging out of a 2-score hole having watched them that whole game. But instead, what happens? It ends up being a 3rd and 4 or something like that. They jump off sides. It's 3rd and 9, and then they jump off sides immediately again. So shout out to the Grizz. This is why it's so important to have home field advantage in the playoffs, and why teams don't win in the playoffs, and why these close games being at home is everything. Because if NDSU, same as the Montana State game at the beginning of the year, if we don't get them to jump 8-9 times in that game, do we win that game? Probably not. Does Montana win this game without getting NDSU to jump off sides like 9 times? No, they probably don't, specifically on that drive. Like I said, I firmly believe if NDSU drives down and punches it in there, that game's over. And I don't think if they don't false start, Montana doesn't stop them either. So it's important. And that's why, we've been just beating that drum of, we need other people to beat NDSU to get them out of the Fargo Dome for them to actually not make the championship game. And it finally happened. And I know they won at Montana State. That was really impressive. I know they won at USD, less impressive. And then you go to Grizz, but you end up in tight game. Eventually it bites you, especially in the semifinals. The better you're facing 2 seed. It's a better team than you faced earlier because you faced lower seeds. And those false starts are magnified. And I said to Brian, well, it's a dogfight now, because then Montana drove down, score a touchdown, and all of a sudden they had a dogfight the rest of the game. And we'll talk about the Natty matchup later, but Montana did exactly what you can't let happen, and they let that Montana defense settle in. I think they absolutely had Montana's defense on its heels and were fully cooking, and then they let that defense settle in, and then it was a long day, because that is a good defense, and they started having problems. Pressure started to build. Brian, love you, buddy. I disagree on Cam Miller. He gets tight in big games. Not saying he plays like god awful in big games, but he makes a couple mistakes, a couple overthrows he normally doesn't make in those games, and that's what happened. Missed some deep throws he normally hits. The receivers got tight, dropped a bunch of balls. That was a big deal. That defensive tackle for Montana is a problem.
He's a beast.
That dude, Mason, Gus, and John O'Brien, or Bernstein, have their hands full with that guy. Like, that guy's a problem. And like, if he is similar to what we had last year, where he can wreck a game by himself from that defensive tackle position. He's that good, and he's so quick. He likes to choose gaps and dive through and just penetrate and cause problems. He's not trying to take up blockers. He's trying to get penetration and cause problems. And with the amount they blitz, he did that all game to NDSU. And NDSU just stalled a whole bunch, where their offense just didn't really get much done the rest of the game. And they only got 16 points within regulation. The lunacy again of punting to Bergen is just that. Punt it out of bounds. I know we had somebody on Twitter go, well, you can punt it for 4 to 5. You know what solves that is 4.5 seconds of hang time. And then I'm like, no. And he's like, well, if you're directional punting, you could have a mistake. What do you think is more likely? Having a mistake on getting NFL level hang time on punt, or missing punting out of bounds? Like, go with the sure thing, kick it out of bounds. I don't care if you just decide to go for it on 4th, because honestly, in that scenario, Montana's offense had been doing so much nothing. NDSU would have been better off kicking it out of bounds at the 30 and taking their chances. But
I say go with the sure thing. Don't punt. Just get.
Yeah. You're also out of your damn mind with shit like that. If anybody wants to see me and Chad argue, it's over 4th down calls, and that's what we do. We argue over 4th down calls.
Well, actually, I say dumb shit, and then you tell me it's dumb, and then we argue.
Yeah, then we argue. Yeah, it's not always dumb. Sometimes you're right, a fair amount. But
not to look forward to Frisco too much, because we will talk about that matchup in upcoming episodes. We're not even going to talk about tonight, are we?
Yeah, I don't think we need to. I mean, we've got just between us, we've got at least 3 more shows with Scared Money Don't Make Money, 2 more weeks of the B team. So I don't know if we need to dive into it too much.
Yeah. But one thing that does give me confidence when you talk about Bergen is that we have Hunter Dustman. That dude is so good, and I will guarantee that whatever he gets told to do, he will execute to perfection. And so that gives me so much confidence having him both on kickoffs and on punts, keeping it away from him like you should. Yes, Chad, what would you like to say?
I will not complain about a kick out of bounds so long as we don't get one return for a touchdout. I just won't.
Honestly,
that is not in my repertoire.
Give him a free first down.
7th. Yep.
I don't care.
Yep.
Put him at 35.
Don't care. Yep. Exactly. And then I gotta say that fake punt call was perfection. And I know listening to you, Chad, last night, you thought it was, maybe they saw something in formation. I disagree. I think that was 100% a call. There was 4 minutes left in the game. Like, that wasn't we've been waiting for this formation time. That was a
smart
money call.
Go for it on 2, like right away, like we said in the podcast.
What do you mean?
Like, well, you're gonna have to go for 2 eventually. Why not do that right away? And
because they were trailing. I mean, I agree with you. I think they had so much confidence that with their offense that they didn't want to roll the dice on a 2-point conversion. I think they really felt that we're just going to score at will. They're wiped out. And I think that proved
And they
itself
did.
in overtime
They
until
did.
they called the dumbest play call ever.
The dumbest.
With Cole Payton, no less. Like,
yeah, and
guy
then
never throws the ball, and then that's what you're going to do with him, like, after you'd been using him the
and
way
then
you
our
had.
guy,
I thought it was stupid.
like our guy Blue Blood says, you don't even throw it to your best receiver to throw it. You throw it to like your number 5 receiver. But we'll get to that. So I mean, I guess that's all there is to talk about left in that game. They march down, score, game ends up tied, go to overtime. That offense is just shredding that Montana defensive line, which is, we'll get into that. We talked about it on the Mega Live. We can get into, the game. We've said that 5 times because we keep being tempted to talk about it.
Right.
NDSU was absolutely, Seth Meyer's right. NDSU was playing better at the time. You feel you're better team, you extend the game. You feel you're not better, you roll the dice on one play. I do agree with that. If they don't lose their mind and run that play and they just run quarterback power that they'd been getting 5 yards before he was even getting touched, like, how do you not have faith in that line the way they're rolling to just shove it down somebody's throat is beyond me. I do think NDSU wins that game. I just do. I mean, it took a miracle 2-point conversion. It's not that Montana's offense looked bad, but it wasn't easy for them to score. Like, they were having to earn those touchdowns. You could tell the NDSU defense just seemed to have more gas in the tank. And I'm not saying Montana's lucky to win this, by the way. Before Montana Grizz fans just shit all over themselves in rage, like, I'm not saying you're lucky to win this. Montana absolutely deserved to win this game. They made the plays that mattered. Just because I think it was a dumb play call, Montana still did a great job defending it. But God damn it. But
Corey,
but
you can't leave your
you
name.
don't know who that is.
Yeah. Who is that
Can't leave
mystery
your
man?
name on it.
But, yeah, I'm not saying Montana was lucky or anything, but I think if that keeps going in overtime, that the Montana defense doesn't get any more rested, and Montana eventually would have NDSU might have outlasted them. But once you go to overtime, you start having to do 2-point conversions. Who knows how it really turns out? It takes one play on a 2-point conversion to get it done, or one fumble. I mean, that's the beauty of these playoffs have been incredible. When you look through the rest of the playoffs, sans SDSU, because the team's just that good, the rest of the playoffs have been incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people get mad that there was a couple blowouts and some auto qualifiers that shouldn't have been in there. Like, you can't tell me there wasn't a higher percentage of good games in this tournament than there is in the big dance. Like, there's no way. I'd say 75% of the games were great games. And it was really fun to watch all the way through. The FCS playoff bracket, for its flaws, for the committee's flaws, it is still undefeated in my mind as the best football tournament out there.
100%. Yeah, I mean, you can't beat it. You can't beat the atmosphere. You can't beat how much each game matters, and how, I mean, the home games too, right? Like, all the, none of the bowl games are at home. I mean, yeah, those fans travel pretty well, but it's different when it's a home game. And the fans, like, we have a chance to go there and make a difference. Like, it makes all the regular season games matter, because, like you said, it took NDSU having to play away from their home 3 times for them to lose. And it's so important to play at home. And so, it's just, the whole format is awesome. 100%. If it seems like changes are on the horizon, and it's going to be like, we're going to look back at these days in the FCS and say those were so much fun. Yes. And I'm not saying that whatever is next won't be fun. I'm just saying that, like, enjoy this now, because you don't know how long it's going to last and what the next stuff's going to look like.
The only portion of that last game that we were discussing I caught live was the third quarter, and boy, neither team looked good in the third quarter. Fourth quarter they looked good. First quarter, Montana looked much the better team. But I don't know. It was kind of strange how much of a drop off there was in the play coming out from half. And I mean, maybe I'm the only one that saw that, but hey there. I don't know what that is.
Baba.
Yeah.
Whatever.
At first I thought it was some kind of Asian script, but it appears to be something else. So
don't click that link, people.
No, definitely don't click that.
I think the thing about it with the FCS playoffs, even compared to the NFL playoffs, is the desperation of you don't get to keep your players. Like, you don't get to re-sign them in free agency. Like, they're gone. You lose seniors, you lose guys to the draft. Like, this team will not look the same, and that desperation, I think, bleeds through a little bit into the crowds and things like that. Personally, that's part of why I love college football. Why I love the FCS is that's a whole different topic. We don't need to get into that too deep because then the show will go an hour. I know, talking to like college football campus tour. Yeah. Well, no, I mean an hour from now.
Okay.
Turn into a Brendan and Borg show.
Right.
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
We can do that. I'm willing.
This is the show that never ends.
But talking to like college football campus tour, who came to the tailgate, that guy's awesome. He's a lot of fun. He's
Shout
really
out to
cool to
Mike.
talk to. Yeah, Mike's a stud. He's fascinating
Selling
to talk
calendars.
to, ask about different. Yeah, he's selling calendars. He's got the obstructive view calendars, which are kind of fun. But talking to him, he's like, man, FCS playoffs are the best, like the best. They're so much better because they're on campus. They're not these NFL stadiums. You get the passion of the home team in there. You don't have some stupid neutral site. Like, I still think that it's stupid that the play-in games are neutral sites for the FBS. Like, I know the Rose Bowl's historic. I know, the Cotton Bowl, all that. It's a big deal. But could you imagine the atmosphere if it was at Michigan, the Big House, or Alabama, whatever, and they miss out on that? And we don't. We get to see games at Montana in the semifinals. We get to see games in Brookings in the semifinals. And that's so cool. So that's my little diatribe on that. I'm glad Montana won. I think it's going to make for a lot more spicy lead up to the game. And I feel like that's pretty much confirmed already from things I've seen so far, which is fun. That's fun. There's the demand for tickets is absurd right now. I guess the last thing I should mention about last week is Ariel and I stopped at Culver's on the way in, and Ariel got some Culver's. I got some of their chicken tenders, which, by the way, shockingly good. If you if you like chicken nugget style tenders instead of like actual meat, that's the wrong way to say it, but they're more like chicken nuggets,
processed meat versus
more processed meat. Yeah, versus breast meat. I'm not a big breast meat guy. They were so goddamn good. I loved them. They're like really big chicken nuggets, which is even better. So
you know what they're like?
Awesome.
They're like the old the amazing Schwann's chicken strips I used to have.
Yes.
They're just like those. And
they are.
So yeah, go to Culver's to get your Schwann's chicken strip fix.
Burgle some curds while you're at it. You get your Schwann. I'm sure they love us pulling a second company in there.
This 50 butter burger.
Get your Scoopy tokens, which at this point I'm charging interest on the Scoopy tokens I'm owed. So I'm up to 5 Scoopy tokens.
Maybe I'll pick some up for down in Frisco for you.
I want my goddamn Scoopy tokens.
We did find out there's a Culver's conveniently located like close to the local where we're going to be most of the time.
Right. Yep. And we are going to have the local on here soon. So in the upcoming weeks on the show, I'll have Brian jump on with us here and give people a little bit of a lowdown of what's going on there, because I've been in charge of doing that. You guys made the mistake of putting me in charge of anything. So there's going to be cocaine and no, I'm kidding.
Hookers and blow.
Right. Yeah, bringing my pregnant wife with me to that. But no, in all seriousness, they recognize what happened last year, folks.
Mhm.
And with the beer, and it was they just weren't ready. Give them a break. They were brand new. They hadn't recognized this. We talked about it last year. We were like, I guarantee you they put that logo on the wall, and we're like, we'll get like 200 Jacks fans maybe. And
They made
it'll
a
be well
claim
worth
they
it.
didn't know what they were doing.
And then they end up with thousands. And like, I get it. I get how they're like, especially with staffing. How do you emergency staff a bar to properly accommodate that many people? So they're ready this time. They're going to have, I know, talking to them, they're going to have beer stations around
Do you read comments before you put them up?
No, what happens is I'm trying to click one and then it comes in. You've seen it when the comments come in, then your mouse pointer's on the wrong comment and you click it.
It happens.
Right.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it's Marshall. We'll let it slide.
No, that's awesome. Seth David Fisher says if you ask Culver's worker to burgle your curd, the police might be involved. Challenge accepted. But at the local, they're I know, talking to them, they plan on having extra beer stations around to serve people because they recognize just those two bars, as huge as they are and as awesome as they are, for the demand they have wasn't there. They're working with their beer distributor ahead of time. They've been planning. They've had Jack's games on all playoffs. They've been cheering for us to make it. They're in our corner. So give them a break, guys. Give them a little bit of a break. They know what's coming this time. They weren't ready last time. And let's be honest, if I can't think of a business anywhere, McDonald's dies when a school bus shows up, let alone when 2,000 people swarm a bar.
To be fair to them, they did their best and they went out of their way to find more beer.
Yes.
And they were not dry for very long, even though they did run out. The party did not end. They had other options. They just ran out of Busch Light. You know, you had to start hitting that hard alcohol later in the night, which makes for a better night.
Well, and they ran out of that too. I mean, that's what happens. But also they do, it's kind of like in Sioux Falls where a group owns a bunch of bars. So they own the local, and they also own another bar that's just down the road from them as well. So that's pretty good size horse troughs full of beer, like a real South Dakota pasture party. Just dipping red cups in there, baby. Hell yeah.
I think he means ice in a horse trough with cans in it. But I like where your mind's at.
That's less fun. bobbing for apples and stuff like that. Yeah. So we're gonna have them on. They'll explain a little bit more. Should be fun. We might be doing karaoke there on Friday night, much to Dallas's dismay. We'll see. But it's gonna be awesome. And we're gonna have our show on Saturday there in the afternoon. We'll have a live show there, live podcast. I know Matt said something silly like 90 minutes with the amount of guests we have lined up so far. If we stay under 90 minutes, I will buy everyone on the podcast a beer. Because that's not happening. There's no way.
No way.
Ain't no way in hell. We haven't even. And if I really want to ensure my chances, I'll ask Borg if he wants to go on, and we'll go over 90 for sure. Everybody makes fun of me. Oh, he talks a lot. Yeah, I know, and that's okay. He does. It's fun.
Hey, I don't know who didn't get tacos next door to the local, but there's a taco joint just up the boardwalk that they have there towards that dog park. That is chef's kiss. Those tacos
are they good?
So good.
I ended up not getting any, but I heard good things.
We probably have so many guests that we should just skip the costume thing.
No,
you should just come up with something else. Something else that's way more reasonable.
I applaud your effort. It was good, but it was your idea to not have to only wear it once in Frisco, not mine. I did not posit that initially. I'm excited for you to have to look Sam Herder in the eye while wearing a hot dog costume and ask him a serious football question, because that's gonna be so good.
Okay, we're not gonna ruin a guest like Sam Herder with the freaking hot
dog. It is not gonna ruin. I promise you, Sam will be on board.
Yeah.
I will DM him
No.
right now, and I bet you a nickel who'd be like, "That's awesome. That needs to happen."
No.
Yep.
Number one,
100%.
I'm not going to
Wanna
be
bet?
up there the whole time.
Yeah, you are.
No, there's no reason for
Yeah,
me to
you
be
are.
up there the whole time.
We
There's
are
plenty
up
of
there
other
the whole
people.
time. That's the whole
Have you
point.
seen College Game Day
No,
before? Do they
there's
just
6
have
of
the
us.
hosts walk away for periods of time? No, they don't.
There are
And
6
you know
of us.
what?
There's only so many mics.
They're shotgun mics.
Shotgun
It doesn't
mics.
matter.
You can have 6 guys on one mic.
You just talk. I don't have to be eating the microphone like I do with this one.
Anyway, I agree with this guy's comment. Albany will be back. They are a program that's on the right trajectory.
Absolutely.
Yes. Their coach is awesome, I think, too.
No, not gonna ask that, Rev.
No, he's not buying out of a bet for tacos on this one.
No.
I was being nice because when it's changing someone's look and they have to go to work with a different look, like that's a whole different deal. Like if I was making Ben shave his head, then I'd let him buy out for tacos, but I'm not doing that. It's one show in a hot dog costume, possibly with signs. I don't know. Then there's too many people excited about this now for him to buy out, so it's too late.
I mean, we've even got a line on the costume, so
yeah, and we're getting the costume. The costume's getting hooked up for us by Dallas. This ball's already rolling. Like you can't stop it.
Well, it's gonna
but
be
also
something.
You might be thankful for it. What if it's chilly? That happens in Dallas. For the record, people, that last year was an anomaly. That weather was incredible. Bring warm clothes just in case. Keep an eye on the weather. Weather down there can change as quick as it does up here. So bring rain gear, bring warm clothes, be prepared for anything. Be a real South Dakotan. Don't show up with just a hoodie and then freeze your balls off and complain to everybody. Let's show up appropriately and be ready for that. But Ben, you might be happy to have the hot dog costume. It might keep you warm if it's cold.
Is it a blow up one?
No,
foam one.
I guess I haven't contacted him yet, but it's going. I want it to be the poorest quality possible.
which means it's going to be better than that, just because Dallas is providing it. So
Dallas is classy, but I want it to be the least classy thing possible.
I feel like I might be able to get Oscar Mayer to sponsor our tailgate and provide some.
Hey, there you go.
For it if I'm wearing a hot dog costume the day before.
Maybe they do it if you agreed to show up in the costume and roll up to the local in the Wienermobile.
That's what I'm saying.
That would be legendary. That's called owning it. See that you got to learn you got to start thinking of ways to own this.
I'll check and see if they're in the area.
Hell yeah.
Anyway,
keep an eye on it.
We will have more shows. We will have more details on the tailgate. If you would like to contribute to the tailgate, we have a Venmo up. Go to Illustrated. It's not necessary. Anybody can come hang out, but it does cost money to do this, and money doesn't grow on trees. We want to provide the biggest, coolest Jackrabbit party we can, and the only way to do that is with your guys' help. I can guarantee that whatever you contribute, you'll be able to, as long as you show up early enough, which everybody should show up early because it's awesome and fun.
Yes.
But as long as you show up early enough, there will be food, there will be free beer. Come have a good time, and if you can, throw a few bucks at us to help us throw a good party. I'm actively working on it. Our crew is actively working on other stuff at the local and the tailgate. So we're doing what we can for you guys. So contribute if you can. Go to Jackrabbit Illustrated, Facebook or Twitter to find that Venmo.
Since we're going down that line, I'd like to just give a quick shout out to our sponsors who have already stepped up to the plate.
Yes.
Cubbies, Kubota Dealers of South Dakota, Boyce Law Firms, Holsworth Farms, Blue Tide Car Wash, DeBoer Construction, Dustin and Becky, I'm going to kill this, Keldon, Bloomin' Raider Farms, Josiah's Coffee House, Mensch Greenhouse, Creekside Meat, Jan Bussey Ford, Mike Schaefer's College Football Prospects, SLS Painting, Bowen and Associates, Dakota Butcher, and Jeff Lang. We also have individual sponsors: Rodney Peterson, Eric Shields, Matt Holland, Josh Broekhuizen. Sorry, that's probably too German. Madison Remy, Chad Mansheim, Brian Atwood, Logan Treeboss, Nick Pop, Jeff Skinner. The TC Jackrabbits have pitched in: Kirby Fitzgerald, Kenneth Lanier, Jordan Fink, and Pat Tiefenthaler. Sorry if I killed your name. I'm doing that on the fly, and some of these that I'm naming are not completely shown.
Try the first individual name again.
The first individual name?
Yeah.
Dustin and Becky?
No. In
Rodney
the individual.
Pearson?
Thank you. Yes.
Did I not say that right?
You said my last name wrong.
That's your dad. Yeah. Sorry.
Yes.
What did I say?
Peterson.
Oh, geez. Sorry. I was kind of looking ahead, so my apologies. I know who the Rod father is. So.
I was just messing with you because you messed up my last name.
My bad.
But anyway,
it was a little bit.
Thanks to.
Oh, I just retweeted the post that has the JI Venmo in it, and it's pinned on top of my Twitter profile. So if someone is interested, obviously we had a lot of people show up at the tailgate last year that were like, hey, can I help donate? We'll obviously accept that. However, that being said, if we're able to do more if you do it now, because we know how much money we'll have. We can't put money into it that we don't know we're going to have, unless we use Ben's priority points money. Then we can probably do all sorts of crazy stuff.
Anyway, all right. I think we need to stop this here. Jim said it a while back. There it is. Thanks everybody for listening. We will be on. We're not going to have Scared Money on this Wednesday. We won't be on Monday of Christmas. We'll maybe be on Wednesday after Christmas for Scared Money. We'll see.
Yep.
And we're not putting Chris's name on a banner if he donates.
Last thing.
At the latest, we'll be on January 1st.
I know Jim asked a pertinent question. It says any extra will go to the team or Alex's lemonade stand. It will go to the JFPA.
Yes.
If we have extra left over. So.
Yep.
Which ends up going to the team. So it goes to the team.
Yes to the team, but yeah.
By way of
while
JFPA,
we're on the topic,
which you've seen the cool stuff they've done with the money and how well they support the program. So it's it's a great spot for it.
Yeah, it goes to the coach's need. So, oh shit.
Yep. Twitter egg Chad, how's it going, buddy? All right. Well, I suppose with that,
that's what happens when you bump your webcam.
As Jim says, as we always say, go big, go blue, go Jacks.
Go Jacks.